In November 1998, a group of Sephardic Younger Lights started a minyan. In April 2002, they went to Reb Elia Shvei Zatzal, who encouraged them to start a kollel, which began with 12 Avreichim at 818 Princeton Avenue. In September 2005, the shul and kollel expanded and moved into a new building at 701 Princeton Avenue. Under the leadership of Rabbi Yosef Biton, the shul, Zichron Binyamin, and the kollel, Ohel Rachel, has become a hub of Torah learning in Lakewood.
Just 6 months after my bar mitzvah, my father Zichron was nifter, and my father was considered among the Torah world one of the big Sephardi leaders, even amongst Ashkenazim also. And growing up, I always had a dream to be able to continue his legacy. The Mashgiach of Lakewood, Mathias Salman, who we grew up together with in Gateshead, always encouraged me and backed me to bring out that dream and that vision of giving back to the Sephardi community in the same way my father was doing his whole life.
Rabbi Yossi Biton contacted me about 10 years ago, and he had the idea of starting Sephardi Kollel in Lakewood, which I thought was out of this world, which means I didn't think it was a possibility. This Kollel has all that's needed to produce stars, superstars, Talmidei Hachamim, leaders, educators, who will go back into the communities that they come from. A lot of them from the Syrian community will go back to our community.
Rabbi Biton was starting, and we had the opportunity to meet with him. We had lost, unfortunately, my sister at a young age, Rachel, and we were looking for opportunities of things to do, to dedicate in her memory, Leilu Nishmata. And when we met with Rabbi Biton and we heard of his vision of the Kollel, we were very inspired.
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I went to Ateret.
I started off going to Magen David, Syrian elementary school.
I grew up in Boca Raton, Florida.
I went to Magen David Yeshiva like the rest of my family members.
I was brought up in Deal, New Jersey. I went to Hillel Yeshiva.
Baruch Hashem, we're growing not only in number but in quality. And in order to continue that growth and to maintain it, we're going to need a lot of Talmidei Hachamim that are able to give us what we need, especially if they're from our own home and in our own backyard.
Eventually they'll want to give back to the community, and we'll be able to fill that void, which is to have big Talmidei Chachamim for our community.
Came to Lakewood, I was in yeshiva for 2 years. I enjoyed it very much. I grew tremendously, the Kol Torah, the Avir. And then Yossi Biton phoned me and he brought me here. And Baruch Hashem, the Kollel gave me a foundation in Lakewood. They gave me a home.
At first I didn't want to come to the Kollel, because when I heard about it, I heard that it's such a high level of learning over here. And I tell you the truth, I was a little scared to come. I was here for the past 3 years. I grew tremendously over here.
We're here not only just to sit and learn, we're here to grow together. We feel this is our kabura, this is our makom that we can go and steig.
This setting over here where you have the Roshei Chabura like Rabbi Avram Hassan, who always guided us in the learning itself, it actually changed my whole outlook on life. It was something that I was able to settle in, that I was able to show my children, this is a place to learn Torah, this is a place what a Makom Torah should be.
Every younger man felt his responsibility to produce to his fullest, bring out his potential to its maximum. And we saw tremendous growth in every single individual from the beginning.
This place is going to give out real Talmidei Chachamim, Poskim, Dayanim, Rosh Yeshivas, and there's no question that it all starts from a real stark and learning place, which that's what this place signifies, that's what this place stands for.
These Avrechim developed to a different level of a Talmid Chacham because of these years of commitment and immersion in their learning. And when they did go out eventually and become Magidei Shiurim and Rabbanim locally in Lakewood itself, and in Brooklyn, Montreal, we saw how they were able to give so much more to those communities because of these years that they filled themselves up.
Most of the boys that are here, eventually the idea is that they should go on to becoming teachers and educators. And this kollel has definitely taken a step forward towards the education.
They've really given back to the community, whether it's teaching Baalei Batim on a very serious level, or it's teaching in high schools or elementary schools.
I started teaching in Yeshiva Darchei Eretz, which is under Rabbi Meir Yedid.
Now I'm by Shlomo Diamond in Deal. At night, I act as the Rosh Chabura.
This past year, I was called to the city of Montreal to be part of a kollel and to learn with Avrechim and Baalei Batim at night. And I can honestly say that the strength and the inspiration that I try to use every day, I drew from my years in the kollel over here.
I'm confident and sure that my son or my grandchildren will definitely benefit from the rebbeim that will come out of this kollel. No question about it.
Rabbi Biton is a special individual who only cares about others and is always there for others. But specifically for the Avrechim that are in the kollel, he's always the first one to be the one to help.
He's sitting on the phone day in and day out, running to the city, doing all the nitty-gritty so that the boys that are sitting and learning could learn, be paid on time, do what they have to do. He's ensuring that this kollel is going to expand into a community-shaking organization.
I know Rabbi Biton, I think since he opened the kollel, and I have to say, as a person and as a leader, I have tremendous admiration for him, the way he does things and the way he runs or drives that kollel. He happens to be someone that produced a kollel of the cream of the crop, and you see it by the perot. You see the rabbis that are coming out of there are tremendous. It's a zechut to be part of it.
He changed the whole landscape of the Torah environment really in the community. And by him having produced the younger light, with the Eibishter's help of course, what that really did is that it gave an opportunity now for many of the younger light to move on.
Today we can say close to 30 of our Avrechim are out there teaching in different communities, if it's in Lakewood, Deal, Brooklyn, or as far as Montreal.
We believe Rabbi Biton is just starting. His kochot are tremendous. Although we're here to celebrate the 10th anniversary, we feel it's just the beginning. We look forward to the 20th anniversary and the 30th anniversary and the 50th anniversary.
It's a beautiful place, a place that has a ruach of Torah and Yirat Shamayim and seriousness.
A place like this is needed. We need a few more, actually.